Magomed Ankalaev and Alex Pereira finally ran into each other in person after all the online back and forth. They're hashing out their differences, and let me tell you, Pereira is pissed. Now, apparently, Ankalaev is the one who pulled up on Pereira here, because Pereira's been talking a lot of trash in the media. As of late, how the story goes, Pereira's been accusing Ankalaev of ducking him at the PI, and essentially, avoiding running into him, hiding in a room essentially until Pereira left. We're gonna watch the video, but they've just been going at it ever since this, which started earlier this week. So earlier today, this is 2 screenshots put together of the run-in. You got Pereira here, you got Glover here fucking smiling ear to ear, you got Ankalaev whispering into the Google Translate to Pereira's teammate who's in the UFC. I just forget his name, but I mean, pure cinema. Too good. They're fighting 9 days next Saturday, UFC 320. So let's just watch this real quick. They're dropping all kinds of little snippets, you know what I mean? All kinds of snippets. Pereira says he's got something dropping tomorrow, the full confrontation, so let's see it. But check this out.
Нужно словами бросаться, а мы ожидаем что-то от кадря бой. Давайте сделаем это в ринге. Зачем говорить пустые слова?
Eu não falei nada, ele sempre falou. Eu nunca falei nada, ele sempre falou. E agora quando chegou frente a frente, é um cuzão.
То же самое.
So here's Ankalaev saying, let's not talk too much. We got a fight coming up in a few days. And then Pereira says, you're the one who's been talking. You know, all the tweets on X. Obviously, it's Ali Abdelaziz, but Pereira is going to hold Ankalaev to that. And so here's what Pereira posted as well. Pereira posted, just dropped these 2 clips on his story. There's no audio.
Aberta, na sua cara.
I'm going to slap you in your face.
Eu vou bater em você. Vou bater de mão aberta.
Slap you
Na sua cara.
in your face. So, I mean, he didn't drop it already, did he? I think we need to confirm that.
Eu vou bater em você.
Can I visit this link, please? Alright. Well, anyway, this is some of the origin of what's been going on with this beef. Champ Rounds has it all. So this is the start of it.
Engraçado o que aconteceu ali agora, a saída do PI, né? Eu vi ali o treinador do Ankalaev, eu fiquei ali na minha, mas não vi o Ankalaev. O engraçado foi na hora que eu saí do PI. E aí quando eu cheguei no carro, né? Um cara do meu time, né? Tava lá dentro ainda, né? E viu, tipo, a menina do PI falando pro Ankalaev, pode vir, ele já foi embora já. Tipo, porra, escondendo o cara, escondendo o cara na salinha ali, velho. O cara acha que eu vou encontrar ele e vou sair brigando com o cara, velho. Pô, eu sou idiota, né, velho?
Mas será que não foi porque ele falou na internet?
Eu não sei o que ele falou, não.
Você, Potan, você está certo. Eu não vou ter nenhuma palavra a dizer, porque você vai acabar dormindo depois que ter que trabalhar na borracharia de novo.
É, pode ser, né? Tá vendo? O cara fala besteira. Eu nem tinha visto isso aí, velho. De verdade.
Eu tô ligado.
Pô, de verdade, eu segurava o BO, entendeu? Mas o ponto de o cara se esconder numa sala, velho, porque eu tô no mesmo ambiente, velho. Ah, pô, o cara é um frouxo, velho. Esse é um frouxo, pô. Eu vou ficar na minha ali, entendeu? Eu nunca vou, tipo, arrumar uma confusão com o cara, nunca vou chegar. Lógico, a não ser que o cara venha pra cima, tá ligado? Tá, eu tenho que me defender também, né? Mas aí, tipo, que campeão é esse, velho? Que campeão de merda, velho. Aí, achei a única besteira que eu falei, velho. Mas é um campeão de merda, velho, um cara desse. Mas sabe por quê? Não pelo que ele fala, mas hoje tem que se esconder numa sala, né? Velho. Demonstrou que é um cagão, velho. Vamos ver. Vamos ver. Porra, se escondendo agora, mas depois, porra, a gente vai dar na jaula lá, velho, trancado lá, velho. Não vai ter. A não ser que ele vai pular a grade, velho. Ah, um campeão de merda, um cara desse, velho. Chama!
So you know Pereira's pissed when he's talking like that at the end of the day. Pereira, it's a bit out of character. And he kind of sparked that. I feel like he didn't need to bring all that up.
Velho, velho, porra, velho. Aí o cara fala para dessa, ele se escondendo, velho. É um cuzão, velho, o cara, velho. Porra, velho. Um frouxo, velho. Ele ficou olhando, tipo assim. Será que ele tá com raiva? Será que ele não tá? E eu só na minha, não falei nada. Aí ele não saiu da salinha. Mas se eu tivesse cumprimentado, ou tivesse balançado a cabeça pra ele, ele fala: Ei, Ankalaev, você pode sair. Pode estar de boa com a gente. Não vai ter briga, não. Mano, se eu for querer um dia fazer isso, brigar com alguém, velho. Você acha que eu falo, vou bater nesse cara? Tá? Eu nem falo, velho. Eu nem falo, tá ligado? Eu só deixo. Na hora que vim, cumprimento o Globo, cumprimenta você, pá, se eu quero pegar, é ali mesmo, toma, receba. Já era. Os caras ficam falando, sabe que os parceiros não vai deixar, tá ligado? Claro. E aí fica assim, me segura, senão, porra, me segura, senão eu mato, me segura, tá ligado? Porra, isso não existe, velho. Se eu quero fazer a parada, velho, porra, eu só fico quieto. Fica aqui na minha. Você acha que eu vou avisar você? Você acha que eu vou avisar o Globo? Eu vou nada. Se vocês não vão deixar, velho, entendeu? Eu fico só na minha, entendeu?
God damn that mute button. Okay. Pereira, here he is, just saying. Ankalaev makes threats online, maybe doesn't have the same energy in person. And Pereira's just talking like, I'm the type of guy, why even say anything? Why give you a warning that I'm going to do anything to you in person when I see you? I wouldn't do that because then Glover's going to break it up. You know what I mean? My team's going to break it up. And I don't want that. I want to get the jump on you. So I wouldn't be talking too much crap online, warning you about what's going to happen when I see you. If I want to do something when I see you, I'm going to do it. I'm not even going to talk about it, right? Here's the quote. The guy who says something like that and hides, the guy's an asshole. He's a chump. If I want to fight with someone, I don't even talk. I just wait. If I want, it's right there. Boom, it's over. Do you think I'm going to warn you? Now, as I'm reading this quote, it's like, I don't know how much... What's Ankalaev said he's going to do to Pereira in person? I'm not exactly sure. But as we make our way up the timeline here, Ank's Twitter has talked hella trash, and at the last press conference, he trash talked too. I don't want to see Alex versus Magomed, only Corey versus Merab, and Dominic's fight. My thing about Corey Merab is that Corey's going to get smoked, bro. Corey's going to get smoked. Now, Dominic versus Olberg, I'm intrigued. It's a good fight. I do want to see Alex versus Magomed again. I'm not going to lie. Shout out to Jew. Shout out to my boy Prime. So here's Ankalaev saying, This clown who I'm fighting said I'm hiding from you. I'm giving him a rematch. Sorry, I'm hiding from him. I'm giving him a rematch and he should be very grateful. I whooped him for 5 rounds and I did everything I wanted to him during the fight. Let's focus on fighting and not trash talking. Which is kind of rich coming from Ankalaev, right? I mean, big Ank. And as far as whooped him for 5 rounds, I disagree. I think it was closer than people make it out to be. Possibly. I mean, I'll say Pereira won for sure 1 round. There's an argument for 2, but I'll for sure say Pereira won 1 round. So then Pereira claps back with this. I mean, it's a full-on fucking soap opera. This is a great symbol, though. Look. Dog barking. Okay, do something. Jew says 1 round was the difference. So I think you're saying that it was 3-2 Ankalaev. I would have probably scored a 3-2 Ankalaev. It was a good fight. I'm down to see it again. This guy has been knocked out 3 times in his career. I had never been knocked down. This time I will give him his 4th knockout. End of story. Will he knock out Pereira? I think Pereira got knocked out because he was weight cutting a lot. Pereira has had a illustrious career, lots of wars. He could have a glass chin at the end of the day. But in this fight, he really barely got rocked at all, if any. I don't think he got rocked at all. So, you know, they be talking trash online, right? That brings us to today. It's pinned up here. They ran into each other. I showed you what Pereira had on his story, what he's teasing. Oh, here's one more thing. Just for all the fans out there, for the last 2 months, I make my own tweets. ChatGPT and Google Translator is the best. And let's go ahead and watch this press conference from Ankalaev today. But because it's all, what's the word? Translated and shit, I'll give you guys this quick snippet and then we'll watch the full thing. I was a little angry when I saw his video, so when I saw him today, I approached him. He switched the topic. So yeah, basically, Ankalaev approached Pereira today. That's how the story goes. So I know a lot of people are saying, like, Pereira confronted him. I even captioned a post saying Pereira confronted him. Essentially, they confronted each other. But Ankalaev, you know, confronted him first. And Pereira stood on business, saying everything he's been saying behind the camera to his face. Meanwhile, Ankalaev's like, let's not talk, let's not talk.
И потом сегодня я его увидел, там я спрашивал у него, где я спрятался, ты меня искал, я стал перед ним, и он говорит, там, начал, там, ему какая-то девушка сказала, что-то, короче, непонятные вещи начал говорить.
It's a very interesting story because the other day I was doing like some physical therapy, like a massage, and then after I finished, I came out, I was told that Pereira was there, but I didn't see him. And then the next day I see a video come out where he says that I was hiding and stuff like that, which is not true. And I was a little angry when I saw the video. So then when I saw him today, I approached him, I said, hey, when did I see you or when did you see me? It never happened. And to which he answered, he said, oh, there was one girl who told me that you were there, but, you know, he switched the topic, you know.
As Pereira said in the first video we watched. But this is standard protocol. This is what happened to Merab and Umar. Merab was getting kept out of the PI while Umar was training. I guess Pereira wasn't kept out of the PI, but maybe Ankalaev was kept in a room or something like that until, you know, Pereira was done training. Hate ya, Big Onk. What up, Soda Pop? Hate ya, Big Onk. We love ya. Poatan Pereira. If we're talking a preferred champion, I mean, I do prefer to have Alex as a champion over Ankalaev. Soda Pop, I have seen the rain bet shit. For anyone wondering, he says, so I have a question for you. Have you seen the cloud bet shit? You talking about the everybody, all the MMA accounts posting their rain bet slips? Because rain bet's paying them or something? Is that what you're talking about? Let me know what you're talking about, Soda Pop. Yeah, it's rain bet. I see like champ rounds. I mean, look, he did it, whoever owns this thing. There's one on here. Like contender series type shit. He's gonna post his bet slip. Here it is. This is what you're talking about. Bro, at first I thought it was just some Tommy McMillan dick riding, to be honest with you. Like, it got me that week. Like, I was like, dude, what's with everybody posting their bet slip about Tommy McMillan? Then I realized RainBet's paying them to post this. Look, it's even in their bio and shit. RainBet. Look, another victim of RainBet. ACD. RainBet. I think Fight Bubble did it too. And then the funny thing is, this is the funny thing, Soda Pop. And it's like, props to them for getting it to be this viral. Oh, it doesn't even say it on here. Well, yeah, because see, this dude, who even knows if he's if he's sponsored by RainBet or not, but he's posting it. But it's like, why would RainBet sponsor him? I bet you he's just like thinking it's a trend. This guy has no clue that the other accounts are paid to post it, and he thinks like people actually like are interested in this. Now, that's what I was gonna say though, is from RainBet telling everybody to post about that Tommy McMillan fight, their bet slips and shit, I was seeing like a bunch of other regular accounts doing like free promo for McMillan and RainBet and shit like that, just like reposting it. That's the absolute worst though, when they fall for it. Like when the public falls for it and starts reposting the fucking clickbait bullshit. Do they pay them to promote betting on fighters that are going to lose so people bet them? Something like that, yeah. But bro, in my experience with these accounts, it's always some bullshit. They're always I actually was talking to somebody today. They're like, this, I'll give you an exact situation of this bullshit I went through today. And it's for like one of those big ass like reality shows in Thailand and shit. But they go, "Can I pay you for promo?" And I'm like, yeah, sure, like $25 a post, like I'll keep it cheap. You know what I'm saying? And then he responds back to me, he's like, okay, 16 posts. Can I get 20% off? 20% off, bro? Are you fucking kidding me? So I'm like, I'll give you 10% off. But also he's telling me I gotta take his money through crypto, which I don't fucking have. And then he goes from 20% off for 16 posts, me countering 10% off for the 16 posts. Then he goes, I'll just buy one post for $20. It's like, bro, I told you it's $25 per post. You feel me? Now you want $5 off the one. That's like more than 10% again. You motherfucker. So I don't know. These accounts, they're always like, I hate dealing with them. I get hit up from them. They ask me to do promo, and then it's always a pain in my ass to get the money. So I just don't do it unless I get fucking like Zelle or like PayPal or some shit. I got a theory about how I can sell promo though to not these accounts but other chill accounts. Literally seen fighters posting RainBet slips. Yeah, they're just like fucking too dumb to realize it's not a trend. Everyone else is just getting paid to post it. Look up Garrett Armfield. He's literally in the UFC and posting them. Maybe Armfield's sponsored. But wait a minute. Actually, no, they're not too dumb because they can't even bet anyway. Legally, right? It's illegal to bet. So my boy Armfield, he's obviously not betting. I don't even think you can solicit advice, though, if I'm being real. If you're a UFC fighter. If you're a fan, different story. But I wouldn't even be soliciting picks. This is James Krause-esque. At RainBet. See what I mean? Homie sponsored. Even when McGregor did that stream on Dual Bits, they hit me up too, but they always want to pay in fucking Bitcoin, bro. And it's like, no, they wanted me to promote that. But I don't know. Maybe I should get Bitcoin. Maybe I'm shooting myself in the foot. There's more topics on the day. Let's get into more topics. Okay, so one of my favorite topics of the day is going to be, all right? One of my favorite topics of the day is going to be this right here. Bryce Mitchell say hello to the anti-Semite of the week himself, yours truly, Thug Nasty, Bryce Mitchell. Hey, give him a round of applause, everybody. Round of applause for Bryce Mitchell, everybody. Round of applause for Bryce Mitchell, everybody. Now, I'm not, don't get me all in this race debate. I'm just having fun here. Anyway, here's a paraphrased quote, and then I'll read you. You know what? No need to paraphrase. I'm going to give you the whole thing. Thug Nasty goes, I love God and everyone in this world with all my heart. This is his official speech for winning the award. That is what Jesus commands Christians in Matthew 22, to love all and hate none. A couple slurs won't get you this award. No, sir. A couple mean tweets won't do it. No, sir. You have to know history and scripture and preach them in a way that is so factual that the enemy is so scared by the information you spew, they want to kill you. Amen. To really be a high-level target, you have to be willing to give everything. All sponsors, all your reputation, all your money, your family, and life. And I am willing. I trust the Lord with our fate. I don't care for my own life. I care for his plan. Remember, if you're spreading the gospel correctly, we're supposed to anger demons and bring the sword to them, not peace. Fear not, no man can pluck you from the hands of the Lord. Though they compass me about, they compass me about. He will strike them down. Like chaff in the wind, they will be gone before my Lord. One more time for Bryce Mitchell, everybody. Honestly, does pro-Semite mean you really dislike... Is it just against Jews? I was going to look it up right now because I don't truly even know what it means. I think that's what it means, though. But... And if that's the case, Bryce got the award because of his speech after Charlie Kirk passed away, huh? They inaugurated him into the awards ceremony. What is an anti-Semite? Anti-Semitism or Jew hatred is hostility to, prejudice towards, or discrimination against Jews. Damn. A person who harbors it is called an anti-Semite. Whether anti-Semitism is considered a form of racism depends on the school of thought. Anti-Semitic tendencies may be motivated primarily by negative sentiment towards Jews as a people or negative sentiment towards Jews with regard to Judaism. Damn. People are going to clip that part off of me clapping it up for Bryce getting anti-Semite of the week and call me like anti-Jew, aren't they? That's fucked. But I'm going to stand by it. I'm not anti-Semite, but I am happy for Bryce. Can I say that? I mean, I'm a Christian at the end of the day. I don't know if we're getting all religious and all this stuff, but, my Christian brother, Bryce Mitchell, whatever the case, man, whatever the case. We need a Bryce and Shapiro sit down. Who's Shapiro? I'm thinking of a fucking witty response and I don't even know who fucking Shapiro is, bro. Who's the pro-Semite of the week? Bow that Paul Craig retired. Oh, now that Paul Craig retired. Well, it might be Natan Levy, but I think he's not in the UFC. Oh, Ben Shapiro. Yeah. Bryce and Ben Shapiro would be great. I would love that. Who's the other one? Who are some of the guys that Bryce likes? Like Sam Hyde and these kinds of names. Drop them in the chat so I can look up their videos. I need to do some serious research, but you got to always be careful because sometimes these guys, like, they don't actually know shit. You know what I mean? So you got to be careful. That's why, like, you know, I'm not saying I'm anti-Semite and all this stuff. I got to do my own research. Oh, and by the way, spoiler alert, nobody has this clip yet. Only here. We are going to review the footage of Joe Rogan, breaking down into tears, talking about Daniel Cormier's knockout losses to John Jones and Stipe Miocic. That's coming up, but we're just, we're basking in this award of Bryce's. Can't wait to watch him get knocked out again. Not all heroes wear capes, some wear camo. Calling out disgusting Zionist behavior is not anti-Semitism, LMAO. That is true, right? That is kind of true. That I feel like this is a great statement, though. I feel like Bryce doesn't... This is why I was kind of, like, confused, because Bryce doesn't hate Jews. He says he loves Jews. But he believes that Israel is, this right here, I don't know how to word it, but yeah, he calls out Israel's Zionist behavior. What's a Zionist? It's that dude Benjamin Netanyahu. I don't know much, but I know that that's probably not a good man. Ethno-cultural nationalist movement that emerged in late 19th century Europe to establish and support a Jewish homeland through the colonization of Palestine. See what I mean? A region corresponding to the land of Israel in Judaism. Because you guys see, and central to Jewish history. So Zionist means that the Jews want to take Palestine. They want to colonize Palestine. That's why... See, it's been this. I'm not going to get super into it because I don't know much. A region corresponding to the land of Israel and Judaism in central Jewish history. Zionists wanted to create a Jewish state in Palestine with as much land as many Jews and as few Palestinian Arabs as possible. This is why they're at war. And this is not right. You cannot overtake Palestine. Because Israel was once inhabited by the Israelites, apparently. And, the Jews came and overtook that, and then now they're going to overtake Palestine? What the fuck? That would be Zionist behavior. And Bryce Mitchell believes that Benjamin Netanyahu is a Zionist. He's a part of the anti-Zionist movement, which I think anybody should be. Why would you be in support of something like this? And I believe that's why even Hamas is, because people always talk about Hamas. This is a fucking theory, so don't quote me. I'm just thinking out loud here, all right? But I've been wondering, what's up with this Hamas, right? Like, what's up with Hamas, and, why does Palestine stay under rule of them, the Palestinian people? Well, think about this. If there was no Hamas, right, and Benjamin Netanyahu is a Zionist, what is stopping him from overthrowing them? You know what I'm saying? And making it a Jewish state. Just going to give that a pause real quick. Now, is the Hamas the only thing stopping, Israel from overtaking Palestine? Because the Palestinian people don't have, what do they have to fight back if there's no Hamas? They got an army? The Hamas is like their army, but it's like, you know, underground shit. I don't know, boys. I don't know. I'm just thinking out loud. This is anti-Semite of the week. So, more like anti-Zionist of the week, if you ask me, with Bryce Mitchell. And the Jews are just getting wrapped up into it, but it is what it is. Okay, just a couple more and we're going to get into Joe Rogan. Let me see here. Oh, yeah, so, I mean, dude, we got so many topics today. It's crazy. All right. Let's just get into all of them, though. So, I'm going to give you the ones where I got the most takes for. So, let's go. And we are going to watch this Ankalaev video, too. I mean, we might as well. So, Ilia Topuria headlining UFC White House. I'm way more in favor of this than, like, McGregor and all this other bullshit. I'm going to be real. McGregor wants 100 million. We don't give a fuck, dude. We don't give a fuck at all. I feel like Kai Sakura had already moved up. This is the thing people won't tell you, right? Kai Sakura had already been a bantamweight. And don't let me just talk shit, right? Don't let me talk shit. Before I go ahead and speak, let's go ahead and confirm this. Why the fuck is this one saved? So before Asakura came to the UFC, right? He was in Ryzen. And what weight was this? Can we find the weight? I am having a hard time finding the weight. Wait. There is no weight on here. What the hell is going on? Oh, 130. Okay, right here. Weight, 135 pounds. Of course, because Juan Archuleta. So you see what I mean? His last fight, because he was a bantamweight and flyweight champion in Ryzen, if I'm not mistaken. And so, you know, the UFC signed him and they wanted him at flyweight. So he came, signed to the UFC, and he went 0-2 at flyweight because he's cutting too much weight. That's probably the reason why. So let's see what he can do at bantamweight. I mean, him and Merab, you know, there's that viral sparring footage. So new life for Kai Sakura. I say, I don't know if we want to speedrun Kai Sakura's career. He is 31. Asakura versus Sean O'Malley. Or would Sean O'Malley just toast him up? That's a great fight. Asakura versus O'Malley. I love it. I would love that in like a Ryzen type setting too. So let's go there. But yeah, let's go for that. Let's go for that. Anyway, Asakura moving up. Should have been did that, but the UFC, you know, they're stubborn sometimes. McGregor's shit-ass training for the UFC White House. I can't wait to see him step in that octagon if he really does. And just mark my words, you're going to see... Watch McGregor how he fought Poirier. This guy's crossing his legs, bro. Crossing his legs. McGregor was crossing his legs, backing up. Backing up, crossing his legs. This guy ain't got it. That was even back then with Poirier. You're not worth 100 million anymore, bro. This speaks to a bigger problem, which is that the UFC, combat sports, in a way, is just becoming really... For example, Jake Paul, Gervonta Davis. Gervonta Davis is fighting Jake Paul because nobody else he's got to fight, right? Will sell as much, will draw as much attention, whatever you want to call it. We'll give him the credit. And in fact, let's say Gervonta versus Lamont Roach doesn't sell that much in the rematch, right? Or let's say, why would he even want to fight Lamont Roach if he's getting 50 million in some ballpark, right? Combined, him and Jake are getting 50 million to fight. Him and Lamont wouldn't even get in a ballpark of 50 million. They'd probably get half of that. So why wouldn't Tank take that? And then on top of that, if Tank does get in a low market value fight, then he also loses because the journalists are going to say he's not a star anymore, you're not selling. So it's a double-edged sword. I'm not even saying Tank's decision is right. Well, I mean, it kind of is based off of the standards of the media and how everything is portrayed these days. You know, it kind of is. But, you know, is it our fault for pushing him into that? Is it our fault for not holding Dana as accountable and making Dana think this type of shit is okay? Putting McGregor at the UFC White House like a fucking buffoon? I'll take Ilia Topuria over this any day of the week. He's fighting a washed Chandler, though. He's fighting a washed Chandler, dude, but McGregor is more washed. McGregor is more washed. And I'm not even, to be honest with you, I'm not even here for prediction because I think McGregor can win it. So I won't even say definitively. McGregor's just getting knocked out by Chandler. But I think there's a good shot. I think there's a good shot. And if McGregor does beat Chandler, it's going to be the ugliest win you've ever seen. It's going to be such an ugly win. It would be like a 29-28 split decision. You know what I'm saying? For McGregor. Some weird shit like that. We're going to watch this too. Beautiful. You guys see that? Look. Real quick. This is a double overhook. Look, double over. I mean, you could also go ahead and get a head and arm going, but this trip you can also go from a double overhook. See, he basically had like a double overhook. Not fully, but beautiful. Damn, he just punched DJ.
What's that? What does that mean? Max Holler. Oh, fuck that. I'm 39. I ain't taking no concussions. 1 minute.
I've actually never really even seen a submission like that before. Or I've never really seen that used, like, turned into a submission. That's Merab's move right there. Good shit from fucking a GOAT and a future GOAT. Merab is 34 years old, man, and he's just getting started. At least he got another 3 title defenses left in him. At least 3 more. Merab happy to control one of the GOATs. DJ got to respect Merab. DJ got to respect Merab. Also, you know, Merab's a weight class bigger. So, definitely got to respect Merab. And he does, but I know DJ a GOAT, but Merab that new generation. You feel me? New generation. He's on his way to becoming a GOAT. Merab Dvalishvili. Paid post right here. And his followers know it. Look how few fucking engagement he gets.
Honestly, if there was a fucking just a fat ass payday, 100%.
What would you consider?
Would Sean accept a boxing match with Ryan Garcia as a co-main of Topuria versus Crawford if the UFC were to offer that?
Yeah, I mean, honestly, if there was a fucking just a fat ass payday, 100%.
What would you consider that for?
God, it's like I'm thinking like 10 million, but then I'm like, God, if they said 5, I'd be like, yeah, but I don't know. It's hard to say. Be a tough fucking fight. I'd rather fight Gervonta Davis.
You'd rather fight Tank?
Yeah.
Shorter, still fucking.
They're both. I mean,
monsters.
Different styles are different. That's a better style for you.
Yeah.
Tell me, holy shit! Look at that fucking screen capture right there. Put on some bigger shorts, homeboy. Or do not cross your legs like that. But back to what I was gonna say. Tell me you're back to jerking to corn and smoking weed every day without telling me you're back to jerking to corn and smoking weed every day, Sean O'Malley, with your red fucking tips. I mean, that's not even tips. That's the full deal. There's just next level. Everything you said here is essentially wrong. 10 million is a crazy number. Fight's not worth that. You're coming off of 2 losses to Merab. Nobody would ever believe you're going to beat Ryan Garcia. Okay? That's number 1. Number 2, even 5 million, it's not even worth that because, again, there's nothing to sell. You aren't that big of a draw that you think you are or that you portray that you are, and I feel bad saying this. I do, but dude, 10 million, 5 million, like, bro, you're lying to people, and then people are going to come around and think that, like, you're worth this because you said that, and it's just simply not true. It's simply not true. Aljamain Sterling has been on record several times saying he made close to nothing extra on pay-per-view points when he fought you. And that was supposed to be the biggest deal. That was a super viral knockout anyway that the UFC just posted for free. So maybe that's why Aljo didn't get that much money. And then saying you don't want to fight Ryan, that would be a super hard fight, but Tank would be an easy fight because he's short. Fighting is about size, but bro, Tank doesn't give a fuck about how tall you are. He's knocking your ass out with a body shot. He's knocking that red hair back, bro. You don't want no smoke with Tank. Especially if you don't want smoke with Ryan. That's what you said. Red hair, talking about boxing. I know that you got asked the question, dude, but, you know, shut that shit down. Be like, no, I'm locked in. I don't know. I'll stop being so hard on Sean. But, you know, the main thing, saying you want Gervonta over Ryan is retarded. And saying you're even worth 5 million to fight Ryan, you're the one stinking it up, O'Malley, unfortunately. Like, Ryan is worth 10 million. You know what I'm saying? You are not even worth that. Crazy to say, you got a lot of money, bro. You got a lot of money. You're winning in life. But I'm sorry, you're not worth a $5 million boxing match. Okay. Well, I mean, you guys let me know. I feel like you probably won't want to watch this Ankalaev thing, so I'm not even going to make you watch it anymore. I had it queued up right here. If you do want to watch the Ankalaev little media scrum, I will. Just comment it. Say play the Ankalaev media scrum. But I'm going to skip to... two other things. Number one, I knew I was missing something. Gable Steveson doing dirty boxing. Play the main takeaways. To be honest with you, there wasn't much. There wasn't much going on with it. The main takeaway was that one clip. I'll pull up a couple other ones though if there's anything. I'll just play the clips on X then. How about that? We won't watch the whole video. I'll just whatever people clipped off, we'll watch that. Gable Steveson. Okay, let me just lay out this man's career for you guys. It's crazy. He's entering into another type of sport. Like, just settle in, man. Settle in on something. It's annoying as fuck. You're wasting time. Get your feet settled in something else. Why not go 2-0 in MMA? Probably took a bag here, so congratulations. Starts off college wrestler. Becomes an Olympic gold medalist. Then he goes ahead and tries out, I don't know the order, but he definitely tries the WWE. It doesn't work out. Then he tries the NFL for the Bills. It doesn't work out. Okay. Then he announces he's going back to college wrestling. Ends up losing the NCAA title. That means nothing, but I'm just putting it out there. He ended up losing the championship. But again, because he's jerking around doing all this other fucking shit, dude. Maybe if you would have locked in, you would have been multiple time NCAA champ that last year. You know what I mean? Anyway, after that, he goes ahead and announces he's going to compete against Craig in a grappling match at CJI, which is like the main event bullshit. Okay, so call that what you want to call that. So I'm on my number 6. Then he finally decides, after all the time he's been talking about it, to fight in MMA, right? That was the most recent. He just fought in MMA. Okay. Now he just got that under his belt, and now he announces his dirty fucking boxing debut. We're on 8 careers. If you're familiar with SpongeBob, this guy's like a football playing astronaut in space, like with a guitar and a mustache, bro. Like, this guy's everything under the sun. So congrats on your dirty boxing debut, but you don't even box, so why the fuck would we care? Because you're Gable Steveson and we gotta follow everything you do? That's not how this shit works. This is how stupid ass MMA media works. And look how much you got. 585 likes, homeboy. 585 likes. That's just as bad as the fucking rain bet post. That's just as bad as the rain bet post. With 23k views, 354 likes, right? Keep that in mind. And what do you got? 300k views, 500 likes. You cannot fool the public. Nobody's interested. You can't fool the public. Okay, but I really just want to get into... I want to stop dicking around now. We'll get to the Ankalaev presser when we get to it. Maybe we'll just finish off with that. Because what I want to get into is Joe Rogan crying about Daniel Cormier. And while I do think it was nice of him, you know what I mean? I think it was nice of him. It's like he started crying so quick. So I would love to get your guys' thoughts on this. I'll also share mine as well. Let's give some full context.
I think he works for the other team.
Yeah.
He's an agent.
I should have bookmarked this guy.
You should have bookmarked.
I should have bookmarked this guy because I was like, I need to know if this guy is really like this narrator is saying. But he fought in all the legit things.
I'm almost thinking, like, are you sure that this was one real person and they didn't just put together a bunch of stuff
Nah.
about multiple people?
Did you get hoodwinked by some AI?
He was bald-headed. How about that?
Oh, boy.
Had a low flat top. How
I'm trying
about
to
that?
figure out who this would be.
Light-skinned black guy.
God damn.
Lanky.
How long ago? I guess that might be better.
Yeah, what year are we talking about?
I would say he might have ended his career like 2008, 2000 fights, but then it got to like, oh, this guy's retired now, and he retired like maybe like late 30s.
Listen, there's a lot of guys like that, unfortunately, that are really good, really good, and then you watch him like 1 or 2 fights, and you go, oh my God, this guy might be the best in the world. It's just the game is so brutal. It's the most brutal sport ever. You're using your body to try to break another person's body.
Damn.
And the most effective way to do that is to separate them from their consciousness.
Damn.
You know, or take their legs out until they can't walk anymore.
I remember one time we went to a fight, and then I was like, hey, Joe, why they walk to the ring together with their whole crew, and then right before they get into the ring, they hug everybody. And I'm like, why are they hugging? They're going to be right there outside of the octagon, and they're going to be yelling instructions, and they were in the locker room together. But right before the person enters the ring, it's almost like a goodbye, because I might not exit this ring the same way I entered.
Yes.
Or at exit at all.
Yes.
You know, so that's what fighting is to me. Is like, that's how dangerous it is. Like when you're like,
yeah,
goodbye.
Well, it's the last thing you could do to support that person that you love that's about to go do that.
Right.
It's real hard when you watch your friends.
I just have to say, I mean, this guy is like from the outside looking in, so it's fine. But I mean, Joe's getting emotional, and it's because he's gonna bring up this DC thing. But I can't believe he's already crying after the guy just said how it's touching how the fighters hug their corner before they go into the octagon. I don't exactly think it's how that guy made it out to be honest with you. I don't think they're hugging them because it's their last chance at life and all this stuff, you know? I think it's more of a brotherhood. But anyway, here comes Joe Rogan and the tears.
It's real hard when you watch your friends get beat up.
Damn. Yeah.
Real hard.
Yeah.
You know, it was real hard me watching Cormier when Jones beat him up.
Right.
That was hard. The Stipe one was hard. You know, especially the one with Stipe KO'd him against the cage. It's just hard.
Yeah.
Because you know them. You know them as human beings. You know,
yeah.
you know what that's going to do to them. It's fucking devastating. It's like...
I'm just trying to judge how many tears he's got coming out of his eye right now.
It's like a loss. It's
not a single tear, but a lot of trembling in the voice.
like you lost a family member or you lost a dog.
Yeah, but see, it's affecting you right now. Shit, just thinking about it. That's like...
It's hard, man. I start crying.
Yeah.
But, like, for me, the hardest one was Shab. Because Shab didn't want to quit. And I was like, dude... The thing about Brendan that most people don't know is how many concussions he took outside of the fights. So you see the fights, but he used to spar with Shane Carwin, man. Shane Carwin was the interim heavyweight champion, the biggest fist ever registered in the UFC. He had like 5 XL fists. Bro, he's so big, it was ridiculous. He looked like in the Avengers, like he would be like the Hulk. He doesn't look like a real human.
Right.
Like all the other people were there, and then there's Shane Carwin. He was a freak. He's a freak. And Brendan Schaub and him used to spar all the time, and he would get knocked out all the time.
That's crazy.
He would get concussions all the time. All the time. He got a concussion like days before he fought Ben Rothwell. He got a concussion days before he fought Nogueira. Like, he was getting concussions all the time, like, in the gym.
Damn, that's crazy.
So I knew about all that shit, too, and I was seeing the effects, and I was like, you got to get out now. If you don't get out now, there's no happy ending. There's no happy ending to the guy who gets knocked out a lot.
Right.
It's terrible.
That explains why Joe was so adamant to Brendan, if you look back on this now, because Joe was looking at it from a perspective of, you're my friend, like, I can't stand to see you messed up years from now. Now, Joe could have never predicted how dumb and stupid Brendan could become. I'm just kidding. I'm just playing around. I know that's the narrative out there. That's why I'm saying that. Literally just playing around, pure joke. But I'm just saying. That's why Joe wanted Brendan out when he did, because he looks at Brendan as a real friend. And I was also just going to say, going back to him shedding the tears and stuff, I know I'm joking a little bit about him shedding tears. It's just because he's super emotional about it. But at the end of the day, I do reside with what he's saying. When you know a fighter and you know the stuff that goes behind it, a loss does hit you differently too, as the spectator. Even seeing somebody get beat up, he's right. Like, it does affect you. So, he's not wrong exactly for being emotional. I know he's old. He's like almost 60 or something like that, right? So he can, this is typical, par for the course. But he's a good friend of Brendan, number one. And I'm just saying, I can see where he's coming from with that stuff because of what he just explained a second ago. Let's see if there's any more, and we'll wrap this up.
I was watching a video the other day of that dude who fought Mike Tyson when he when he got out of jail. Remember when Mike Tyson looked like a bodybuilder almost?
Right. Was it a white guy?
Yes.
Yeah.
Yes. And that dude, I found the video because I sent it to my friends. I was like, bro, brain damage is real, fellas.
Oh, shit.
Because it's just unfortunate. But you watch a guy talk and you go, oh, okay.
So oh wait, is he gonna?
This is just how Ray seems to have kept it together pretty. That's right, Peter McNeely.
Yeah.
This is the guy that fought, and he fucking went after him, man. He went after Tyson, which is crazy.
Movement.
He phenomenal. That not story yesterday. Gotten his.
I thought he was gonna play a video of the guy's broken English or something with the CTE. You could just look up a Nam fan video if you're interested in seeing the before and after effects of CTE. Joe talking about Brendan is the MMA community talking about Paul Craig. Shout out to my boy, you have AIDS. Wouldn't that be terrible though if you had AIDS? Okay, let's watch a video. Since I didn't want to watch the Ankalaev one anymore. Let's watch this. I saw it pop up on my recommended. It's only a 10-minute video. I mean, we got it. We got to see this. What do you guys think? Let's do a poll before I even click on this. Let's just get this going real quick.
People need to see this.
Okay. I want to do a poll. Is Joe Rogan losing his touch? Yes. No. I used to be big on Joe Rogan, but these days, he says the same thing in every MMA podcast. The same exact thing. I think that we should have fights taking place on an open mat with no cage. I think that steroids should be legal. I think you should kick and punch in the back of the head should be legal. I think that rankings don't matter, rankings should be the only thing that matters, and I wouldn't make fights based off of star power and stuff like that. Like, we know Joe's arguments. We know everything he says in an MMA podcast. I used to love him, man, but it just gets repetitive after a while. Even on his regular podcast, he always goes into COVID topics and all these things. It's like a repeating topic list. He pulls out of his tool bag when it's regular or MMA related. My favorite thing about his MMA podcasts are when he asks about the training regimen and the diet and shit. But even that, he goes into the ice baths. It's like, we've been down this road, bro. We cannot keep doing this. Like, you talked about ice baths 100 times already. Dude, Nam fan is chill as hell. I've chatted in the DMs with him. I feel so bad when he gets birthdays wrong. Joe's entire podcast. Yeah, I'm sure Nam fan is chill. Most fighters are chill, bro. And it, nothing against Nam Fan. It's more sad than anything, but those videos are true, man. Joe's entire podcast with Andrew Santino is him just waffling on about random stuff like quantum physics and Santino agreeing or asking for more info. He says a lot of the same stuff. Yeah, Joe's become a waffler. He doesn't even know how to acknowledge his guests, and he just starts talking about other things. I don't know. He'll find any way from of this one I mean when he doesn't acknowledge his guests. He'll find any way of what his guest says. He'll find any excuse to turn that into a COVID topic. And how CNN put the filter over his face and made it gray and all this shit that we've heard a million fucking times, bro. A million times. Okay, let's watch this. I've never seen this video.
This every time it comes across my feed, I'm just going to send it to them. What you see when you see a bot farm. So there's bot farms that have essentially an unlimited number of social media profiles, and they just go after whatever subject it is. And all they're trying to do is get people to hate each other. And this is a bot farm. And this is another creepy aspect of AI that was exposed fairly recently. Some accounts got suspended because they realized that the CCP was using ChatGPT to run these kind of bot farms.
A few moments later.
Look at
He
this.
needs energy.
What?
Oh my god, we have to announce that, Jew. That is fucking hilarious. LO, he wants people to stay down next round if they can't get up is my worst one. I hate hearing. That's so true. Joe thinks that if you can't get up from a takedown, you got to start on the ground in the second round. Joe is rich. He has the same things.
Now, this may or may not be true, because this is someone Wiz of Wizofy on Instagram.
No, Wiz of AI.
Wiz of AI. Oh, Jesus Christ. Oh, my God, I'm retarded. Is this AI, then?
Slow Joe's back on the air after taking a week off from getting duped by the internet to go elk hunting, armed with the most powerful bullshit detector known to mankind. As luck would have it, though, while he was off camping in a 5-star hotel and getting choppered into the mountains to meet his buddies, Rogan was absent for one of the biggest free speech controversies since the Biden administration directed Twitter to silence some of their biggest public health critics. However, this time it was his own team committing the cardinal cancel culture sin by forcing Disney's ABC to fire Jimmy Kimmel and then openly bragging about how they just wiped their asses with the First Amendment. It was only for the intense backlash against Disney that forced their hand into reinstating Kimmel days later, which then led to the president threatening to sue them for not doing what he wanted. And the whole time this was going down, the free speech warrior-in-chief was on the front lines of a different war, rugged up in a private hunting lodge telling his pals war stories from the green room. And as followers of this channel will know, tall and funny scientist Joe Rogan has a habit of being absent during crucial social and political moments. Just recently he was seen on a kid-sized slip and slide while the whole Epstein file cover-up unfolded, feeding us banked episodes with comedians no one's ever heard of. But now, after declaring via Instagram that he had limited reception during his hunting trip, the little man was back in the studio on Monday with Bobby Mom to give us his thoughts on the current state of the culture wars.
And this is the problem, is that Hollywood in particular they're in a fever pitch of, if we don't get our ideas across, if we don't promote our ideas, then the other side wins.
Yeah.
Like, everyone is in this fever of war, of like a culture war. And a giant percentage of it is being manipulated by these overseas bots. Like, I tweeted this thing. People need to see this every time it comes across my feed. I'm just going to send it to them. What you see when you see a bot farm. So there's bot farms that have essentially an unlimited number of social media profiles, and they just go after whatever subject it is, whether it's climate change or an election or even sports. And all they're trying to do is get people to hate each other. And this is a bot farm. China's doing this for sure. Russia's doing this for sure. But Iran is probably doing this for sure. Israel's probably doing this for sure. We're probably doing it as well. We're doing it to them. And this is another creepy aspect of AI that was exposed fairly recently. You could tell it how to behave. And I want you to pretend that you are an unhinged leftist that wants to kill all white men and then get in there and argue. And then the right-wing people are like, oh my God, these leftists want us dead.
Right.
I feel like the UFC has a bot farm. I believe these bot farms do exist. I'm already getting annoyed of listening to Joe talk about it a little bit, but I'll just say, like, I do believe that these things exist, you know, where there's like these microcosms on the internet where it's like a comment section could be 50% bots, you know?
Strap up.
Pushing a certain narrative too. Like, I think Dana's got bots, bro. How does he have so many supporters with everything he has to say all the time? There's always somebody fucking siding with Dana in the comments. That could just be his cult following, but shit.
And then you have like this Charlie Kirk incident, and then everybody starts to really believe it now.
Having Andrew Santino on the podcast for the first day back after everything that went down last week is so ironic, given that his podcast with small Asian boy Bobby Lee is so successful due to their refusal to engage with politics and the culture wars. Bad Friends is one of the few comedy podcasts left that hasn't been dragged into the culture wars, except for when Mark Maron went on there recently and shit on Joe Rogan and Tony Hinchcliffe. But I'll come back to that towards the end, because Mark is clearly living rent-free in Rogan's shiny bald head. He can't help but throw strays at Mark mid-sentence whenever he gets the opportunity to these days. But Santino was there to promote his new comedy special on Hulu, and instead of talking about it and having a laugh with his old buddy, Rogan ended up unloading the latest iterations of his talking points, barely letting Santino get a word in, and proving yet again that the only...
Okay. The last thing we'll discuss today, that was a fucking fail on that video. Not even gonna lie to you. You gotta know when to call it quits. And we're calling that video quits. The card for this weekend. Let's do a quick run through. I've looked at it a little bit. I mean, we don't care. I appreciate the UFC for trying, you know, but until you guys can show us something, like, it's just really tough for these women's fights, man. And I'm not going to fake it. I'm not. This, I think it's 2 debuting guys, if I'm not mistaken. Yeah, 2 young guys making their debut, 1 local. Let's see what you can do. 4-1, 5-1. Card filler. Another woman card fight to start off the card. I appreciate the UFC for at least putting it on early and not putting it on late in the card. Colby Thickness versus Josias. Couldn't tell you. But hometown boy, 7-1, 8-1. Both 0-1 in the UFC. Rolando Bedoya 0-3. Malarkey 5-6. Should be a good fight. I mean, Bedoya 0-3. Could be an easy win for Malarkey. I don't know. Cam Roston making his debut against Petrosky. I mean, I don't know what it is, but the matchmakers low-key. I mean, I feel like matchmakers really like Petrosky. How the fuck do you give a guy who's 8-3 in the UFC a debuter? Please tell me his original opponent fell out. It didn't. This is the original booking. Did this guy's original opponent pull out? It's the original booking off the Contender Series. Let's see what he can do. Maybe UFC sees something in this guy. Got a lot of submissions. Some knockouts. Let's see what he can do. Looks like he grapples for sure. Now, once we get past this Petrosky fight, this is an interesting fight, I'm not going to lie. But the more interesting fights of the evening will be these ones moving forward. Navajo Sterling, 7-0 prospect. I think he's, 2-0 in the UFC. Did he go Contender Series route? He did. So, you could call it 3-0 if you want to. Still rather green, fighting Rodolfo Bellato, 1-0-1. Bellato had that weird nut shot, right, where he quit against Paul Craig. Yeah. So this guy's fought 3 times in the UFC, and he's only got 1 win. He's got no losses, though. Charlie Campbell, Tom Nolan, really good fight. We got American prospect versus a Australian prospect. Undefeated versus undefeated in the UFC. Charlie Campbell 2-0 in the UFC. Tom Nolan, Nolan's got a loss, 3-1. Okay. Good fight though, 9-2 versus 9-1. I like it. Louis Sutherland versus Justin Taffa. I mean, is this guy on roids? Oh my goodness gracious. Look at the traps on that guy. Making his debut against Justin Taffa. The Taffa brothers, man. I'm just glad we don't have Junior Taffa on this card. I think his fight fell through. You know. Thank the Lord. Junior Taffa is one of the worst fighters on the UFC roster. Jake Matthews versus Neil Magny. Good, solid fight. Jake Matthews got to get past Neil Magny. 15-7. 23-12. Two solid fighters. Neil Magny, how old is he? 38. Old head. This kid's coming into his prime, 31. A lot of people probably picking Jake Matthews. No, let's see. %86 of people. Riding like a 4-fight win streak, I think I just saw. Jack Jenkins versus Ramon Tavares. I mean, why the fuck is Jack Jenkins getting Ramon Tavares? I mean, I guess it actually makes sense. It's a decent fight. 1-1 versus 3-2. Neil Magny versus Jake Matthews should be above this one. Jimmy Crute versus Ivan Erslan. 0-2 in the UFC versus 5-4-2. This one is what it is, man. Dominic Reyes versus Carlos Ulberg. 8-1 versus 9-4. Reyes is on a career resurgence, on a comeback. 3-fight finishing streak. All knockouts. Dustin Jacoby, Anthony Smith, Nikita Krylov. Okay. We got Ulberg, who's riding a massive win streak. 8 or 7 fights, if I'm not mistaken. Oh, no, 8. Yeah, 8-fight win streak. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8. 4 coming by way of knockout during this 8-fight win streak. Title contention. Beat a former champ. Beat a former title contender. Right? Dominic Reyes. I'm curious to see where Ulberg goes with the win. Dominic Reyes, they'll probably throw him up there to a title shot if he gets a crazy knockout. I could see it. What are the light heavyweight rankings? Let's see. And who are they picking in this fight? 50-50 with Ulberg on the lead, taking the edge, 51%. How much Australia pay to get this shit slop card? Can they even get refund? LOL. Shit. I think the tickets go for like $500, bro, at the lowest. At the lowest, $500 for this shit ass event. $500 for a ticket. Ain't nobody buying that. $500 a pop. Okay, so as it stands, Dominic is ranked number 7. Ulberg ranked number 3. So yeah, Ulberg gets a title shot with the win. I can't believe Ulberg got a fight down. But yeah, Ulberg should... But, you know, you got Prohaska and Roundtree. They're training to fight too, you know? They're also fighting off the title a lot more recent. Maybe you do give it to Ulberg. Maybe you do give it to Reyes because this is a fresh matchup. Fresh matchup. in the title picture. You know, two former title contenders, Khalil and Prohaska, we've seen it. Even Blachowicz, we've seen it. Hill, we've seen it. You know, so we got to get some new guys up there if there's a win. But yes, this card is in jeopardy. This card is in jeopardy. They haven't sold many tickets. They're discounting the tickets now. So, makes sense. It's not the greatest card. You know what I mean? I think the UFC set their standard too high for the Australian fans because they're pissed off they're not getting a pay-per-view, you know? And it's probably close to the same price ticket-wise. So there you go. That's the main card preview. That's what we're dealing with. That's what we're dealing with this weekend. I will be tuning in. I'll be streaming it, but I'm not going to stream these first 3 fights, bro. I don't care if this one ends in a crazy knockout. You shouldn't have sandwiched it in between 2 women's fights then. I honestly probably won't even tune into this one. 2 0-1s. I'll probably tune in starting with Malarkey. For those of you that will be tuning in as well on Saturday. Card starts 7 p.m. Eastern. So regular time for us. This will basically be Sunday over there, I'm pretty sure. Anything else on here? Let's see. Yeah, there ain't nothing. There's no way Gable's got allegations. Is there? You see that, what this says? No way Gable's got allegations, bro. I'm not even going to Google that shit right now. As far as John... UFC expected Reyes and Oldberg to sell the card, and it's not. Yeah, it's definitely not. Oldberg's really quiet. He's a good-looking guy, but he's really kind of like quiet. Quiet and stoic.
Person, but I no longer respect.
No, yeah.
Up until recently, I had respect for him as a fighter, as a person, but I no longer respect him. Trash talk is something that you hype up the fight and you say something funny. When you lie to people and say that, oh, I saw him and he hid, or he was hiding in a PI, the stuff like that he recently said, I don't respect people like that. Why would you lie about something that never happened? He doesn't speak English. I speak enough English to explain myself. And there was a guy there who spoke English, but he refused to translate. So therefore, we were forced to use the translator. But I can say what I want to say. It's just, I don't think he knows how to do that.
No, yeah.
Up until recently, I had respect for him as a...
There we go.
Weekend. UFC Fight Night. The WA government's financial investment in cage fighting is in question tonight, with poor ticket sales to a UFC event this weekend. UFC Fight Night is being staged at RAC Arena, but the venue is only about half full and tickets are now being discounted.
Ultimate Fighting Championship is back in town. A decent turnout for a welcome to country ahead of Sunday's event. The response to UFC's return visit to Perth this year has been disappointing, not the sellout of previous years.
The WA government's financial investment in cage fighting is in...
Australian fans might be being a little hard, but it's a shit card, let's be real. This is
Georgian
too funny.
or like American? Rob.
This is I'm looking for wife.
You want wife now?
I want wife.
Georgian or like American?
Priority will be Georgian.
You need a big wife because you're kind of short. You need like a very tall wife so you got big kids and strong kids. You want wrestlers, right?
Of course. Yeah.
So you need like a big wife.
Yeah.
What are you doing to try to find a wife? Dating sites?
No.
My name is Marab. The one that's really the UFC champion.
I wonder how Marab feels about DC telling him he needs a big wife. He's not wrong. Marab needs like a tall like Asian like Kelvin Gastelum got. Like 5'11".
What are you on dating sites?
Dating sites not good for wives, but you know you get all the horse there.
How you know that?
Listen.
He goes, how you know that? Marab goes, listen, brother, listen.
Marab, I'm America, brother. You know, I live here. I'm very happy. 13 years.
Oh my God.
I'm grateful for all the moments, but like now, it's enough. You know, it's enough. It's time to find a good quality wife and have a beautiful family. And then, you know, so I gotta sacrifice with that too. You know, I have a lot of choice, but I wanna choose one respectful woman. You know,
where do you find a good Georgian woman? They don't live in Vegas.
In Vegas,
maybe like New York City has a big population Georgian.
In America, even Georgians, great people, they come America.
Marab been playing around. He been fooling around for a hot minute in America, refusing to settle. Makes sense though.
Most people change, you know.
Really?
That's crazy. He still wants a Georgian woman after all these years being here. Shout out to the culture. Shout out to the culture. All right, boys, that's going to be the show. Shout out to everybody who tuned in. All the boys watching still. Make sure to like the stream, subscribe, you know the deal. That's 4 days in a row, Monday, Tuesday, Wednesday, Thursday. Maybe we'll do one tomorrow, maybe not, we'll see. But we got streams every day so far this week, so if you need more content, just go watch the old streams. All right, boys, peace out, peace out. Shout out everybody watching. Shout out Dean. Shout out Jew. Shout out AIDS. Shout out Soda Pop. Shout out Tyler Betts. Shout out Jew. All the boys. Shout out Prime. Everybody. Peace out, boys.